So I am excited to be sitting down recording another one of these videos because for today's video, I am going to be covering 12 upcoming Nintendo Switch 2 true physical games. That means these games will be fully on the cartridge, no game key cards, no downloads required. And I'm just happy that these physical Switch 2 releases continue to keep getting announced. And the first one that I have to cover is Hollow Knight Silksong, because finally on October 16th, we are going to be able to get this game physically, and it is going to be a Nintendo Switch 2 edition. That means it will be playable both on the Nintendo Switch 1 and Switch 2 off of the cartridge, and it's going to be retailing for $40. And I'm excited to finally check this game out myself because my cousin keeps telling me that I need to get into the Hollow Knight games. And I know this is one of the most critically acclaimed games that has come out in the last few years, one of the most critically acclaimed Metroidvanias of all time, and it's sitting on a 90 on Metacritic right now. And I do need to make a little correction because Hollow Knight Silksong will be retailing for $45, and on the same day that it releases, the original Hollow Knight also will be releasing on October 16th with another new physical copy, because it already got a physical copy for the Switch 1, but it's going to get a Nintendo Switch 2 edition, which means it will be fully playable off the cartridge on the Switch 1 or the Switch 2. If you already have the Switch 1 physical or digital, you can download the update for free. But if you're a hardcore collector, then you may want to be adding this to your collection when it releases. And this is another critically acclaimed Metroidvania that's also sitting on a 90 on Metacritic right now. And on October 28th, for $50, Avatar Legends, the fighting game, is coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 with a true physical copy. And that physical copy is the deluxe edition that includes 5 DLC characters from the Season 1 pass. And that is pretty cool to see that this game is getting a physical copy on the Switch 2. Hopefully it shapes up to be a good fighting game on the console. Is this one that you're interested in? Definitely let me know in the comments below. And before I go on with this list, I just want to ask if you're enjoying this content, if you would please help me out in the algorithm by hitting the like button, hitting the hype button, and helping spread awareness of more true physical games that are coming to the Nintendo Switch 2. And also feel free to subscribe to this channel if you want more Nintendo Switch 1, Switch 2, and physical video game content. The name of the next game on this list is pretty long, pause, but it releases on October 15th for $70, and the name of this game is Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader Voidfarer Edition. And this is a story-driven, isometric, turn-based tactical RPG set in the world of Warhammer 40,000 with similar gameplay to Baldur's Gate 3. The game offers a lot of freedom and explains a lot of the lore, making it great for newcomers and veteran players alike. I will have to do some research of my own on this game because it does sound interesting, and the fact that it is getting a true physical copy does make the purchase a bit more enticing for me personally. If this is one that you're interested in picking it up, definitely let me know in the comments. Releasing on October 30th for $60, Observer System Redux will be getting a true physical release on the Switch 2. And this is a cyberpunk horror game where you play as a neural detective hacking into minds to solve a murder mystery in a dystopian 2084. That does sound pretty interesting, but I don't know much about this release either, so I will have to do a bit more research to see how this game looks, and I'm sure I'll be looking at the trailer as I edit this video. If it's something you're interested in, definitely feel free to let me know in the comments below.
I'm an observer.
And releasing on November 6th for $44.99, we have Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector Nintendo Switch 2 edition. And I always do like to mention that these Nintendo Switch 2 editions are playable on both the Nintendo Switch 1 and the Nintendo Switch 2 consoles. And this physical copy is going to include a folded poster, 3 art cards, and a sticker sheet. This game also has an 85 on Metacritic, which is a really good score, but this is a dice-driven sci-fi RPG where you play as an escaped android or a sleeper on the run, building a crew and ship to survive in the Starward Belt asteroid field. So that game does sound pretty interesting, but let's keep this list going. And we'll keep this list going with Hua 2, or Hoa 2, however you want to pronounce it. At first, I thought the game was going to be called HOA 2, but it is a sequel to a 2D puzzle platformer, but this sequel turns it into a 3D puzzle platformer. It does look really interesting. It only has a placeholder release date right now, but I'm really excited to see when the physical release of this game will come out because it has a really gorgeous kind of watercolor painted art style similar to like Studio Ghibli. And I've heard that the first game was a really solid entry. I'm not sure if the first one got a physical copy, but I think it's available digitally for like $15. So I'm interested in going back to try the first Hoa or HOA game myself, whatever you want to call it, because it does look really interesting, charming, and cool. And if you like horror games, I've got you covered with the next couple of games on this list, because on September 18th, for $60, Layers of Fear, the Finer Masterpiece Edition is coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 with a true physical copy. And this is a first-person psychological horror game built in Unreal Engine 5. It combines Layers of Fear 2, and all the released DLC, along with new chapters that tie every story together in a seamless, nightmarish whole package. And the next game only has a placeholder date, but it does have a price listing of $50, and this game is Tenebrous Somnia. And this is a retro survival horror action game with live action cutscenes created by an award-winning film crew. And in this game, you are going to struggle to survive with puzzles and fighting. This one does look really interesting, and I definitely need to keep an eye on it myself. On September 29th, for just $40, Cyberpunk is getting a true physical Nintendo Switch 2 copy, and this is a zero-stress, relaxed survival crafting game, and you design your own home base with a wide range of materials and decorations, and you can play this game solo or with friends. I don't know too much about it, but it does look like a really interesting and quirky kind of game. And the next game on this list is a Japan import, but PlayAsia does say that it supports English. And this game is called Viractyl, Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Of course, if it's a Switch 2 edition, it will be playable on the Nintendo Switch 1 and the Switch 2 consoles. But this game is really giving me Dokapon Kingdom vibes because it kind of looks like a Mario Party type of board game with RPG mechanics. This game says that it combines board game mechanics with dice rolls, deck building, and roguelike progression into a unique strategic experience. This one definitely looks interesting, and I'll be keeping an eye on it myself. And it has a price listing of just $32.99, which is really cheap for a physical Switch 2 copy. But of course, if you're getting this from PlayAsia, you will definitely have to pay for shipping fees and all that as well. And the final game on this list is Human Fall Flat Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, which releases on October 23rd. And I know this game was really kind of popular and trendy at one point, but I really didn't know what this game was myself, so I had to look it up. And from what I was able to look up, I gathered that this game is a physics-based puzzle platformer where players control a wobbly, customizable character in these surreal dreamscapes, solving open-ended puzzles with simple but clumsy controls. So that's cool that this is getting a Switch 2 edition. Of course, that will be fully playable on the Nintendo Switch 1 and Switch 2 consoles. I really do appreciate you all watching this video so much, and I'll definitely look forward to catching you all on the next one. Don't forget to like the video, hype the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. All right, peace.